AD, you came into this preseason saying you wanted to build a rhythm. That's why you wanted to play as much as possible, I guess. Obviously not a good shooting night tonight, but how did you feel rhythm-wise kind of over these 2 weeks?
I felt good. That's what preseason for, try to get in the rhythm. And that's how I wanted to play majority of the games, play 5 out of 6, to try to find that rhythm. Didn't shoot it well tonight, but I think overall, I found a great rhythm as far as, shooting the basketball, conditioning, defensive tendencies and things like that. So I feel good going to the opening night.
You guys obviously went 0-6, but I'm curious, what are you encouraged by from this preseason heading into the regular season, and maybe what do you think is ahead of schedule with this group right now?
When we look back at film, you think you play bad, you actually play pretty well, despite a loss or a win. And every day we go and film, coach shows us positive things, the way we move the ball, the way we cut, the plays we're making just playing randomly. And so we're encouraged by everything that we do. We have spurts where we look really good, like we did in the first half of the first quarter. So, but, the thing we can get better is obviously defense. Defensively, we can get a lot better, and, new guys trying to play in a new system. And old guys trying to get it acclimated to the new guys who's trying to get acclimated to the new system. So it's a lot. But, we're going to chip away at it every day.
Kyle?
Hey, D.
Why aren't you here, Kyle? It's an hour flight.
Fair point. Okay. I was just curious, Frank was talking about the plan to kind of split minutes at center and power forward. Again, I'm wondering how important do you feel your shooting specifically is to playing, especially with DeAndre and Dwight in those lineups?
It's pretty crucial because it opens up the floor. And, I'm going to shoot the basketball no matter if I'm on or off. My job is to create the space and open the floor for guys, especially when Brown and Russ like tonight. Brown and Russ getting downhill, Doe getting downhill, and being able to, make shots, helps everyone on the floor, helps them keep attacking and, for me, opening up the paint for them. So anytime, and that's what DJ and Dwight on the floor or off the floor, I think just being able to, knock down shots will open up the floor for our guards who attack.
Dave?
I didn't make the trip either. So we were talking to Steve Kerr the other night, AD, before you guys played the Warriors, and he was talking about the first year with Steph, Clay, and KD, and he's like, we had all these discussions about how we're going to share the ball, and then just at the end of the year, we looked at the stats, and all 3 guys averaged the same amount of shot attempts, 19 a game. Tonight, you, Russ, and LeBron were all kind of somewhat in range of each other, but have you thought about how that can work out? Who's going to get ultimately the offense run through them the most in terms of getting the most shot attempts?
Nah, we haven't talked about that. And honestly, we don't care. It's going to be shots. Nice where guys on like Brown was on tonight, so we're looking for him. I'll have nights when I'm on, and you're looking for me. Same with Russ. So, it's all about planning the flow of the offense, flow of the game, and see what happens from there. But, we never try to say, all right, you get this amount, I get this amount, and, whoever's left get that amount. So, we just try to play within the flow in the offense, and, when shots come, if you're open, shoot it, or if not, move it.
LeBron with 30, Russ with 18. AD has been really good in the preseason. This was probably the one game that he had where he wasn't as impressive. Yeah, that's 62 points between the 3. AD with 14 on 5 of 18, 12 rebounds. One thing we talked a lot about in the pregame is he just passes every test, Brez, when it comes to talking about AD and what kind of start we think he'll have for the season.
Yeah, really liked what I've seen from him in the last couple weeks. Guys, a lot of questions about him for sure. How does he look physically? Definitely passes that test. Been taking some hard fouls. Hit the deck a couple times. Popped right back up. No problems there. How's his mid-range? Good. Very, very good. Three-point shooting, he's exploring it again. He's not hitting a lot of them, but I'm glad to see him at least going back to that shot. And down low, just been devastating. Not great around the arc tonight, or around the restricted area tonight, but, you know, close on a lot of shots, and Dwight Howard was there to put back some of his misses, which was huge for Dwight.
Did I hear you want to see him shoot a couple more threes?
Yeah. You know, remember last year at the start of the season, Frank Vogel was like, hey, green light, go ahead, do whatever you want. And he would take like 5 or 6 a game, and he started hitting some too. Now, towards the end of the season, he comes back from his injury, did not shoot a lot of threes, didn't make a lot of them either. So I think he's, I like seeing him dip a toe back in that water.
I want to see them implement the same rule with Dwight Howard. You block a couple shots, then you can shoot a couple
well,
threes.
He's going to take a couple threes every game then.
All right, but no, he need to get his big butt back on the block. Go to work down there. We got enough three-point shooting.
A little fun outside?
No.
Oh.
No.
What if
negative.
he's got like 27?
If he's rolling, yes, you can then explore it. But don't start out there.
What
Start
about
inside.
this? Inside out instead of outside in. Don't first couple shots. Let's not have those threes.
I'm good with that.
Let's start with your inside. That's when he's at his best.
Yeah, because that's when Harry gets his touch. He gets his touch on the inside. Then he steps out. And he's more mobile.
That's what we do in all relationships.
Rob, did you get 2 blocks every half?
Yeah.
Okay, let's check.
Hey, I have a nickname.
Yes, you do.
Go from that.
Big block Ori.
I got 7 too. That's all I'm gonna say.
You do. Yeah, you do.
I never lost in the finals. That's all I'm gonna say.
Big game. Rob's having a heck of a show.
Can I keep going?
Fire. This is your Emmy reel right here, Rob.
Can you argue with me? I ain't on your list. So
all right, let's hear from AD. He's speaking with the media.
He's going to see a lot of corner threes this year, guys. A lot.
116-112, final preseason game of the year. Kings going undefeated in the preseason. 21 points for De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes with 15. LeBron finishing with 30, Russ 18, Anthony Davis with 14. Final tune-up, Brez.
Yeah, by the way, Rob, congrats. You just got an Emmy for your work during that block while we were all, making sure the Dodgers did what they had to do in the bottom of the ninth there. I think my final thoughts would be, this still is not a completed product. Obviously, the big three is still trying to figure each other out. And a lot of role players, 5 guys, did not play tonight. 5 guys who very well could be starters or in that rotation. That's more than a third of your team. Lakers, to me, still looked pretty damn good.
I'll give them, honestly, I'll give them till maybe Thanksgiving before they really are in, their permanent position, I think. It's going to take a little time. They will play well and they will win, but I think it's going to take them a little bit more time before they're truly in sync and playing, on a thread together like every night. That's my prediction.
When you look at their schedule, and you see their games, and Brez has broken it down a couple times on our air. Obviously, you start off with the Warriors and the Suns, and then it goes Memphis, and then the Spurs, and then Thunder. You got the Rockets a couple of times in the first 10. You got OKC twice in the.
You got a Cleveland
first
in
10.
there.
You got the
that franchise
Cavs
rebuilding
in town. So really, Lakers have a favorable schedule, which has not been the case in the past. So, Rob, those first 2 games are going to be, great vibe. You got the Warriors, the Suns, 2 of the better teams in the West. Once you get through that, there's a chance for this team to get rolling. It'd be nice to get a good start to the season. That really helps teams start clicking, right?
Oh, big time.
Wins help everything.
Wins help everything, and it's the confidence. I know these guys are vets and they don't need the confidence, but sometimes you need confidence on the system. You need confidence in the new guys on the team, and that helps out in how you navigate this beginning of the season, because when you start a season out, you can tell a lot by a team. I know a lot of times, they didn't start out well, but there's potential there. You see times when teams start out, 15-2 and go on and they do some things in the championship. Then you see some teams that roll out there not so well, but they end up, peaking at the end of the year. And I think this is like one of those teams because we don't have a lot of practice time. You're not going to practice a lot because of the age of this group. So it's going to take them a little bit longer to peak. You're going to see moments of greatness, and then you can see moments of where you want to shake your head. But that's what you're going to get with this team. You'll get the good and the bad right now because they're still learning each other. They're still learning how to play. We want to talk about the big 3, and I keep saying the big 4 because you're going to have Carmelo now. You're going to have THT. You're going to have Monk. These guys are going to come back, and you got to implement them into the offense, into the defense. So there's a lot of moving parts that are going to happen here. So it's going to take a while for this team to get to going and start gelling. So I think around, like I said, Christmas time, because that's going to be a great game to gel on.
Yeah, I think this team, fully healthy with their veteran players and their youth, are good enough to look at the schedule and say, these teams shouldn't beat us. You know, we've had issues with that in the past, and a couple of times we didn't make the playoffs because we lost 10 to 15 games to teams that we shouldn't have lost to. This team is powerful enough to look at the schedule and say, you know, we want to win all the games. You know, Brooklyn, we might lose that one, but the games they're supposed to win, they got to go into those games, get them done in 3.5 quarters and get it over with and make that a habit. You can't be playing, you know, your starters, the big three, a lot of minutes. I think they're good enough to do that, and that's what I'm looking for.
And remember, the rotations will change. And the hope is that Monk and Nunn are back and ready. I don't know what's going to be going on with Ellington's hamstring, but are you pretty certain that we're looking at that starting 5 with DJ at the 5 and Bays?
Yeah, remember a few weeks ago, media day, AD said, yeah, you know, maybe I'll be starting at center. Maybe he was smokescreening us. Maybe he was trying to say, I'll do whatever the coach wants.
Also injuries.
Yeah, definitely. You got to talk about that for sure. I don't